Yo, what is up, YouTube? What is up, YouTube? I have a comic book review today. Woo! Let's get it on! Oh yeah. Good stack of comics. 200 out of 10. Because I loved it. Yeah, baby. Come on. Year of the Villain, Hell Arisen, #1. Oh, yeah. I loved it. It was a great story. And I loved it. 10 out of 10. Whoa, whoa. Justice League number 38. The penultimate to Scott Snyder's Justice League run. I loved it. It was fantastic. Whoa. Oh my god. 10 out of 10. Flash forward, issue 4. Hooah! The story was fantastic. The story of this is that DC has their own amalgamated universe. But it's not the one from Marvel and DC. No. It's actually Earth 32. This is Earth 32. And I loved it. It was fantastic. Fantastic. Loved it. The Commissioner. #1. DC, you know how I am. 10 out of 10. It was a great story. I loved it. Batman vs. Superman. Oh, sorry. Batman and Superman, #5. The story was fan-freaking-tastic. 10 out of 10 for me. Suicide Squad! Yeah! Issue 1. Yes! The Suicide Squad has returned. I loved it. Basically, the Suicide Squad members are like Avengers, but with really violent weapons of mass destruction. And I love it. The story was fantastic. It was an introduction to other characters, and I freaking loved it. Shazam, #9. Shazam! Damn it, I thought I could summon the powers of Shazam, but nope. #9. Loved it. It was fantastic to see this. Oh, I was in love with it. Because it was great. The story, the action, fantastic. 10 out of 10. Tom King's run has officially ended with Batman 85. How do I think about it? I am happy! because now we don't have to call him Bat and Cat no more. Whoa! Yeah, baby! Whoa! Suck on that, Tom King. I'm glad that James Tynion IV has taken over your job for this comic book run. Thank God. .5 out of 10. Because I want to be nice. Nightwing, issue number 67. When is DC going to go ahead and get the frickin' Nightwings out of this goddamn comic book? I don't care about 4 Nightwings. I care about the one and only Nightwing. I do not care about the 4 Nightwings. I don't care. And for those of you that don't know this, I'm talking about Nightwing Blue, Nightwing Red, Nightwing Gold number 1, Nightwing Gold number 2. They all suck. They cannot compete with Nightwing. They can't compete with Nightwing. The one, the only Nightwing. They can't compete with him. DC, if I were you, please get rid of them. They're no better than this. Just bring back Miss Martian and use her psychic ability to restore Dick Grayson's mind and memories. That is it. That's all you have to do, DC. But no, you don't want to do that because Nightwing is edgy and Nightwing is cool to the modern audiences and ugh, I hate this comic book. So I'm going to give this a 0.5, yes, half a point out of 10. Because I hate it so much. On a positive note, I love this. This is a great introduction to the Legion of Superheroes. I am loving this comic book. This comic book, I love. This comic book, I despise of. And for that reason, this one's gonna get an 11 out of 10. 11 out of 10, because I love it so much. Basket full of heads. I will not show any of the YouTube. I will not show YouTube this entire cover because it is pretty graphic, but it is likable. The story has to deal with... It has to deal with... Oh, I'm gonna be nice about this. It has to deal with a survivor, but the main survivor, the main protagonist, goes into the house where 2 inmates were in, because of plot conveniences. It doesn't really say. Basically, she kills one of them. And I mean that in quotes, kills. Because technically the inmate is not dead. Yeah. The inmate is not dead. And I like it because it's pretty horrifying, but it's a really good concept. So for this, 10 out of 10, because I like it. The Dollhouse Family, I am not going to show this because the cover kind of looks edgy. Edgy. We'll go with edgy. We'll go with edgy. Okay, we're gonna go with edgy. I don't know what to say about this comic book. I love it, but it's also confusing. I'm gonna give this one a 8 out of 10 because I like it, but it's too damn confusing. Oh, and by the way, most of these comic book videos and Yu-Gi-Oh stuff, I mean, the Yu-Gi-Oh stuff is for kids. My Yu-Gi-Oh videos are for kids. Comic books are not for kids. My comic book videos are not for kids because the comic book medium today deals with teenagers and adults. They do not go with the kid route because, let's face it, comic books are doing really well, not in that demographic, the demographic anymore. They're doing well in the teens and the young adults demographic. So that's why this video is not for kids. So, yeah, just wanting to let you know. Anyway, continuing on. Teen Titans number 37. Oh boy. My main man, Lobo's in it, but he only gets a cameo in it. 7 out of 10. Oh, and the main villain, the main villain is called the Heretic. That's the other. This is the other. That's the Heretic. Heretic is Robin, but a grown-up version of him. Oh, and guess what? In Batman Incorporated number 12, all the way back in 2012, this happened all the way back in 2012. 2012. Heretic kills Robin. Yeah. This no-name kills Robin. But then Batman kills him. 4 issues later. And this character has been dead for 7 years. 7 years. Comic books are weird. 8 out of 10. Just because I want to be really nice. Superman's pal, Jimmy Olsen, number 6. I love it. Don't kid yourself. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. This is just full of one-shot stories that are not connected to the main continuity, which is well put together, because this all has to deal with the life of Jimmy Olsen. It does not deal with anybody else's life, which is awesome. So 10 out of 10 for this one. The Metal Men. Number 3. Oh, I loved it. It was jaw-dropping and fantastic. Loved it. 10 out of 10. Oh, roll call for this one. Roll call. If you don't know who they are, this is Iron. Sorry, that's Iron. Mercury. Plastique is the woman, of course. Then Lead is in the corner. Alright? And Tin. And if you don't know your Metal Men stuff, Tin always stutters. He is considered the weakling out of all of the Metal Men. Oh, and there is one main character that is not in this cover, and his name, I will show it to you. His name is Gold. It's Gold. And in this comic book, Gold resurrects himself because Gold was killed off in the previous issue. Comic books are just weird, so I'm going to give this one a 9 out of 10. This is Metal Men number 3 out of 12. So 9 out of 10. Wonder Woman. Oh, man. Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman. And I am really happy because the Silencer. Yes, the Silencer from the New Age of Heroes. She is back to kick some butt. Oh, yeah. I'm not going to show her because, well, I don't want YouTube to be like, yo, Brandon, you got a picture of a woman carrying guns. You can't have that on YouTube. But the story was fantastic. I'm going to give this one a 10 out of 10. The low woods. The low woods. The low woods. I loved it. This comic book, I loved. I loved it. I didn't really... the ending is kind of touchy. The ending is kind of touchy. Because it confirms that this character right here, not this one, but this one right here, is a lesbian. And it confirms it at the end of the issue. I'm not going to say what happens. Because it's kind of touchy. But, did I like the general story? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Trying to think of the words. I thought the story was fantastic. I loved how they introduced a gay character into this comic book world that DC is having right now. Because there are not a lot of gay characters in there. I have friends that are gay. I have friends that are lesbian. I have friends that are bisexual. I have friends that are transgender. And to see this, it's Uh, it's a good start. It's a good start. It's a really good start. But the scenes that they had her in there at the end, it just kind of confuses people because some people might not know, that there's gay people or lesbians or trans or bisexual people. They might not know that, and so they might be turned off by it. I, however, uh, I don't think that DC should have used the ending scene as to, tell the audience that this character's a lesbian. I think that they should have said, that this character should have said out loud to a friend of hers, that she's a lesbian. That would have been great. I would have loved it. But the way that they used this scene here in the ending of the comic book, it really made me feel uncomfortable because I really don't want to see that stuff in comic books in general. Doesn't matter if they're gay or straight. I just don't want to see people having, in comic books. If they want to kiss, that's okay with me. I'm fine with them kissing. It's just the whole, other part. I really don't want to see that in comic books. For this, however, just for this issue, the things that I talked about with this issue, I'm going to give this issue a 3 out of 10. Just because it made me feel uncomfortable talking about this whole thing, talking about this whole subject. That's not to say that, I don't like, it's not to say that, I don't like these kinds of people. It's like, I love them, okay? I care about people, no matter if they're in the L or the G or the B or the T group. I care about everyone. I just don't think that they should have used that scene, that particular scene in a comic book just to tell the readers she's a lesbian. That's why I'm giving this comic book a 3 out of 10. Catwoman, number 18. I loved it. It was a fantastic, fantastic issue. Because Catwoman, tends to play well with others. She tends to play well with other superheroes. Male and female. She knows how this game works. So, for that, I'm going to give a 10 out of 10 for this comic book, and it is Catwoman number 18. Batman, The Last Night on Earth. I don't care. Because they screwed up Batman and DC's entire mythos. They've screwed it up. Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo, you have screwed up the entire Superman mythos because of reasons. For this, I'm going to say a 0.25 out of 10. Yeah, I'm going to give you guys a quarter out of 10 because this comic book sucked. So, yeah, just letting you know. And last but not least, The Last God, issue 3. Man, I love it. But it kind of confuses me sometimes. I love it because it's fantastic and it's, dark fantasy and all that. It's kind of like Narnia and the Hunger Games and basically every kind of fantasy world you can think of all smashed into one. That's what The Last God is. And that's why I like it. The part that confuses me is that comic book fans, are expected to know this entire history of this comic book when it has been only 3 issues into this comic book. And that's why it's confusing to me, because comic book readers are expected to learn this entire history even though even though this is the 3rd issue. So for that reason, I'm going to give this comic book a 5 out of 10. Just to be nice, a 5 out of 10. Yes, it's been difficult. This whole comic book review has been difficult. But, yeah, what can I say? DC comic books, you do some really good stuff and some not really good stuff. I don't know what else to say. Do I still like DC? Of course. Why not? Of course I do. Of course. I love DC comic books. It's just some of the stuff that they make, it just confuses me. But it's not because of the main continuity. The main continuity I know, the main continuity I love. It's more of their Black Label comic books that tend to confuse me because, we're supposed to, know this entire history before the first issue of this comic book. And, it has happened before with this comic book. And all I'm saying to this is, DC, you should be concrete and fluid with your Black Label comic books. You should be more fluid with it. If it goes with the main continuity, with the main superheroes, don't put the Black Label on it. If it's not with the main continuity and not the main superheroes, put a Black Label on it. That would be really helpful for readers to understand what is in continuity and what isn't. So, that's my only complaint for DC. I hope they improve with the Black Label, and I will see you guys. Well, unfortunately, I will see you guys next week when I do my Christmas review. Because comic books are not going to be coming out on Christmas. It's more graphic novels from DC. So, press that like button right there. Subscribe. You can do it right there. The subscribe button right there. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.